got some. Okay, so good place to start would be here. Let's get this into. Good place to start is at the beginning. So what is Super Sentai? Super Sentai is an extremely long-running superhero franchise aimed generally at about elementary school children. Sometimes it's a little older than that, but most of the time, especially near in the past 20 years or so. It has up until recently been considered one of the main tokusatsu franchises. Whenever people refer to tokusatsu or special effects, generally this is one of the first shows they think of. And it's the source for most of the action scenes for Power Rangers.
Also, you think about color-coded for your convenience tropes. This is one of the major reasons why it exists.
Yeah. Sentai was created by the famous mangaka Shotaro Ishinomori in 1976 with the series Secret Sentai Go Ranger. It's kind of a sort of spy thriller, secret agent sort of thing, but in the campy 1970s sense. They kick a football and it turns into whatever they want, and they use it to blow up the ball. It's great. And although the TV series is not legally available in English, the manga that he created, both manga that he created, to tie into it are. So if you happen to run across that, I believe it's Seven Seas Entertainment that does it. It's very good, lots of fun. There's a point where one character gets knocked out of the panel and breaks the panel. It's lovely. The first two Super Sentai did not have giant robots. And then Toei made a deal with One Marvel Entertainment to do an adaptation of an obscure American hero called Spiderman. Might have heard of him. So their adaptation was very different. Involved a motorcyclist who gets his powers from a alien from the planet Spider, and alongside his spider powers also gets a motorcycle and a spaceship that turns into a giant robot. And that ended up being a huge hit. So for the next series, Battle Fever J, which was also a co-production with Marvel Entertainment, kind of intended to be a Japanese equivalent to Captain America, they introduced a giant robot into the franchise, and it's been a staple ever since.
They also introduced wigs on the suit forms, which thankfully has not been a staple ever since.
Yes. Yeah, no, this is definitely one of the weirdest designs for any team that has ever been. So initially, Toei kind of separated the first two series, Go Ranger and Jacker, which did not have robots, from the rest of the franchise, saying that these new shows are Super Sentai because they have giant robots. But because Go Ranger and Jacker kind of make a good place for the franchise to start, and it means there's more shows that can be part of the franchise that they can milk for toys, they decided to include them as part of the franchise starting in 1994.
And just to give an idea of how big of a thing the giant robots are, it's only in very recent shows that there have been episodes with no giant robot footage whatsoever, to the point that you could generally tell if it was going to be a two-parter if the episode started with the giant robot fight, because that meant they weren't going to be hitting it around 20 minutes into the episode, because there are a lot of shows that you could pretty much guess from timestamp approximately if you're going to be in plot, if you're going to be in fight, if you're going to be a giant robot fight, if you're going to be in denouement. But yeah, just a couple shows in which you have episodes you go, that wasn't super.
Right. That only the last few shows have really done that.
Yeah.
At least in recent times. So some common tropes and themes you'll see in the franchise. Again, they're generally an odd-numbered team.
At least to start.
Yeah. With obviously very, very colorful heroes. The red is generally either the leader or the main character. There are a few shows where there's another character who's generally considered the leader of the team, but the red is the focus, or the team doesn't really have a leader, but the red is the focal character. As stated before, giant robots. So there's going to be a giant robot battle generally near the end of the episode. The sixth ranger, which generally comes from the fact that most teams are 5 heroes. So anyone who comes in afterwards would be the sixth person to do so. But this term can also be used to refer to a ranger who comes in a team of 3, that's number 4, or even 2 rangers that come in on a team of 3 to be numbers 4 and 5. But
or can be number 12 because technically 10 and 11 were both extra rangers. Extra rangers are a separate thing from sixth rangers. Generally, if it's the kid, if it is someone who's far older and more of a mentor role, they are more likely to be considered extra rangers. So they still transform, they're still part of the overall team, but they are not filling the trope of the sixth ranger and would not be considered such for anniversary spiels such as this.
generally, an extra ranger doesn't show up every episode. Whereas sixth ranger, once they show up, they're generally going to show up every episode afterwards. And usually the episodes are pretty self-contained. I will say this is near the end of the franchise, this becomes less of a thing. There are some of the more recent shows that are more serialized. But in particular, like during the 2000s and 2010s, I think it's fair to say that for like the first 2/3 of a show, each episode is going to be a pretty standalone story.
Unless it started with the giant robot fight, in which case you are in for a two-parter.
Right. So do we want to start going through chronologically, or do we want to kind of have people discuss shows that they want to discuss?
There are 50 shows, so we have about a minute per.
Yeah, we're not going to get through everything. So if people have a show that they want to talk about to start, go ahead and raise your hand and we can talk.
All right.
Yes.
I guess we should start with the obvious one that you've left on the screen for us, and that's Go Kaiser.
Yeah.
Look, I know people here.
Sentai.
I know people in the audience who would have said that if you had jumped in. So.
Go Kaiser is perfect.
All right.
Whoop. You clicked on it and it decided no.
It decided no, not that one. We're not talking about Go Kaiser. But guess what? You can't tell me what to do, even if I have to just pull it up this way. All right. So, Kaizo Sentai Go Kaiser, or Pirate Sentai Go Kaiser, was the 35th anniversary.
Nope, it's fine.
It's not a token panel, it does count.
Show from current slide.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
So this was the 35th anniversary of Super Sentai. And to celebrate, Toei went all out and made a show where we were going to spend time with each previous Sentai team. We were going to have a guest from every previous team and have in the background this idea of like this big battle that all of the previous Sentai were a part of to protect the Earth. But obviously it has to have its own unique team front and center. So they decided to kind of ride the One Piece wave and do a pirate team. And they are a delight. This is the platonic ideal of a pirate crew. Okay, not the romantic ideal of a pirate crew, in every sense of the word. It's the Red Ranger in this is a cocky, swaggering asshole with a heart of gold. His silent, trusty lieutenant who wields multiple swords. Where have I heard that before? A sexy thief, a princess who has taken to the pirate life a
They really did steal for what
Oh
they
my
said.
god, yeah.
Yes. Sounds familiar. I wonder what came from. One
bumbling
piece.
professor and then a Earth fanboy who just really liked Sentai and wanted to join the team. But don't let any of that distract you from the fact that it is a brilliant show. It's again, the cast is like, yes, there are the obvious parallels, but they are very much their own people, and they're so charismatic. Just every minute any of them are on screen is just a wonderful time, and there's just so much joy in the filmmaking and choreography of the show. And yes, it does bring in a lot of previous teams, but does so less in a way where you're thinking, man, I'm lost. I have no idea what's going on here, and more, oh, that seems interesting. What's going on here? And so it more entices you to watch more shows than it does make you feel alienated, which is the sign of a good crossover. That's how it should be.
If you are wanting to get into older series, this is a really good place to start because you do get a really good feel of the 34 shows that came before it. That said, the show was actually supposed to be a bit darker than it ended up being. However, a certain earthquake happened, and they decided they needed something a little bit more lighthearted, and the result is wonderful. The 10-year anniversary movie is wonderful.
It's true.
Sadly, we're probably not going to get any more, or at least if we do, not with the entire team for reasons of the Sixth Ranger did a bad thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
At least it.
No, like at least it's not.
Tax fraud.
Yeah, at least it's tax fraud. That's a terrible thing to say, but at least it's tax fraud.
It could
be worse.
It could be so much worse.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Considering some other stories, it could be way worse. But unfortunately, for legal purposes, it probably can't be much worse. And for people who are familiar with Power Rangers, you may recognize these suits from Super Mega Force.
we're sorry.
I have not seen Super Mega Force, but I have not heard good things about it. What I understand, we don't talk about it, and I'm okay with that. Go Kaiser, great though, great show. Anything else people want to talk about? Is
So, personally, my favorite is Deca Ranger.
Decorator.
The story was like top notch in the series.
so full disclosure, I have not seen all of Deca Ranger yet. I have been meaning to for literally 15 years because I've seen the first few episodes and they're great. So it's essentially a space cop show.
Yeah. Very procedural.
It's very much like this is how we're going after the bad guys, and it's got this colorful cast with one of the wackier Reds that I have seen. There are definitely more wacky Reds out there, but he's pretty out there. And they're members of this space police Deca Ranger, and they're transferred to Earth to try and stop arms dealers from selling dangerous weapons. And although I have not seen much of the show, from every single cameo he has ever been in, Doggy Kruger is the coolest motherfucker in the world. Far none, far and away. Every time he shows up, I'm just like, that guy right there.
That's one cool dog.
Just,
His big brother is amazing.
yes. No, absolutely.
It's a dog.
So, his suit introduction is him taking down like 100 guys, literally counted. So
That is incredible to hear.
Zoro ripped them off.
I don't know if that timing works.
who knows? I
And-
believe the whole reason we kind of got, because, Sentai always goes for what's popular, right? And then
Yeah.
One Piece was growing in popularity, so a lot of Gokaiger is heavily influenced by One Piece as
Yeah.
well.
And we'll try to note this whenever possible. This is one of the Sentai shows that has an official Western release. Shout Factory released it on DVD a few years back. I don't know if it's still in print or not because of what a disaster Sentai licensing has been, but I do believe it's still streaming. So it's something that you can watch without too much trouble. I think it's the last Sentai that Shout Factory released before we got into a big drought that we may never climb out of.
Also, if you want to see more of the Blue Ranger, he does do a fair amount of 2.5D. Those of you who are Haikyuu fans, he played Ukai. Those of you who are Hero Academia fans, in the stage show, he played All Might's True Form. In fact, the first stage show is great because I watched it, was like, I'm going to watch something All Might's in. Okay, I need to watch Deca Ranger, and I need to watch O's, because there's two forms for All Might, and the only person to play the muscle form All Might is Date.
I love that.
All right. So next show we want to talk about is.
King Ultra?
I was gonna say that.
You know what? No, not one of my favorites. My
Right.
favorite.
Right, yeah.
My favorite. My favorite. So King Oger.
Near the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, there.
Not only is this my favorite Sentai, but this you gotta know it's quality when it's Hideo Kojima's favorite Sentai. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
He was tweeting about it hard. Osama Sentai King Oger or King Sentai King Oger.
King King?
Yes,
Sure.
yes, it is King Sentai King Kinger.
Yes.
As it says here, follows the selfish, idiosyncratic rulers of a district. They fight the Bugnarok and then a chaotic god. So this is one of the most ambitious toku I have seen. Not Sentai notwithstanding. It takes place on a completely different world. And admittedly, we've had Sentai that have traveled to other worlds in the past and have dealt with other worlds in the past. But for the most part, the settings there were just Earth with a few weird flowers. Like that. Maybe we'll have people with weird afros or something. In this show, they had gotten license from Sony to use this new LED technology where essentially they were acting in front of large curved screens and use that to create settings that they otherwise would not be able to create. There are some times when it gets a little uncanny valley. I know that a friend of ours who's done this panel with us before couldn't watch the show because it made them motion sick. And I get that.
Yeah.
But I think that more often than not, it looks really good. They don't abandon practical sets at all. They do actually build some really impressive ones as well. And because this is a world with 5 and later 6 very distinct nations on it, they essentially have to have very different sets for each one because one of them is a more Western medieval style. One of them is actually cyberpunk. One of them is this sort of pastel floral.
French, kind of.
Yes.
One of them is very food and very Japanese focused, and
Yes.
you'll never believe that their name's Tofu.
One of them is a Siberian gulag. And hellscape. He's trying.
He's
Trying so hard.
the best.
He's going to go count in his macrame.
I think it's also safe to say that he might be my favorite Sixth Ranger.
Absolutely.
Jeremy is so good.
So
He's so
good.
good.
This is one of the shows that was very much written through. Like, there is strong plot. This was thought out to the end, right from the beginning, unlike a lot of other shows.
And
And it's also one of the ones that is one, I think, 2 shows I can think of that, although it is very much a standalone thing, it is also technically season 2 for another show.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
plus the fact that like with it being on a different world, it gave a lot of crossover potential, and it did do very well with the crossover stuff with not only the Kyodruger stuff, but even like the standard versus stuff. So like
I still have to see the Don Brothers King Oger movie where all the Don Brothers get truncooned. I've not seen it,
So,
but it looks incredible. Because there is a movie where the previous Sentai all get isekai'd into this, like in the most stereotypical they all die sort of way.
Not to be confused with all of the King Ogers dying and then all of their right-hand men killing themselves in the most stupid ways. Because they're using one of the devices that is in this show is literally this big helmet that will electrocute you if you tell a lie. So you literally have Lady Himeno as the most ugly person. Zap.
Sad.
Oh.
I like how they don't use the mecha every single time.
Yes.
Get
Well,
very,
this is
very
one of the-
focused episodes.
It made me go like, holy, like, oh my god.
But
they're
also,
bringing up-
King Dowager is one of the most over-the-top, but also beautiful mechs I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
Across Sentai and Power
Yes.
Rangers.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like the last few seasons had some
Yeah.
great robots.
This one, I think they were like, we have to make you believe that these are revered as gods.
Yeah.
Yes.
This show also has some really good use of this is a kids show as storytelling device. There are things that, you know, in an adult show probably would have taken a lot longer to do out, but instead they're able to do with humor and just silliness. For instance, the way that you become president in Kosapa, which is Pasolcon backwards, by the way. Guess which one is the tech one?
Yeah.
Is by having tech off, and you just see everyone frantically typing at keyboards. And ditto, like some things to do with all of the different kingdoms. There are little things that are done that it's like this is shortcut storytelling through using the fact that this is a kids show, and it works really well. And it does remind you it's a kids show, but not without taking away and more that allows the story to continue through the world building.
Causing international incident via giant whoopee cushion. All right. So any others people want to discuss? You in the back.
Another anniversary season and also suffering from unfortunate real world events. And I may be the only diehard fan of it, but
O-Ranger. Okay. First off, full disclosure, I've not seen O-Ranger yet. I would love to because it very much looks like my thing. I have heard a lot about its production issues.
Ranger there.
You went past it.
There
Yeah,
it is.
there it is. But yes, using a tetrahedron power, you'll see that all of these guys have the power of shapes. 5 United Air Force Overtech hardware officers are able to fight against Baksund, the evil robot in charge of the Baranoia Empire. So a lot of people will probably be familiar with these suits from early Power Rangers. And again, this was an anniversary show, and this was a show that often like, yeah, the franchise was in trouble after this. Things went wrong. I heard that there's a massive tone shift near the middle of it. Would you say accurate?
so because there were two major events in 1995 which were really terrible for Japan. It was the sarin gas attack, a massive earthquake. So the production in general is like very dark, kind of even after Times of the Pivot, which is as early as like episode 9. You know, it does the episode 9 right with the switch, and it is extreme shit, typical in a way.
Oh my God.
It just makes sense.
But yeah, it's like the general like darker approach, and like the heroes are kind of, they feel like Corbin Ultraman's and I think like they're very mental oriented, and I think that's like they have this cool like very unified dynamic that I really dig. But it's a good showcase for like kind of the highs and lows of all of Sentai's kind of history of the writers.
Okay. Well, you sold me. I like troubled shows. I like troubled shows.
No, I do. How is the team's communication skills?
So so they're in a way recycles Hungarian.
In a way, recycles.
where the two girls are feuding over who wears a dress better.
Oh my
And yeah, there's two really great in a way episodes and two really meaty typical ones.
That's
perfectly.
that is how it is. Whenever he guest writes, he has 2 episodes that are like this is gold, usually comedy gold,
Yeah.
and 2 episodes that are just like, Jesus Christ, man, find some new material. Also, I would just like to say, on a completely different note, a very kind person was at the Kamen Rider panel yesterday giving out pins, and I managed to get one with Inoue and Kaisa's actor being buddy on it. And it's great. I love those two. Like I don't like his character and I don't always like his writing, but I love those two.
I think we need to go.
Yeah, I was about to say, should we talk about the show that saved the franchise afterwards?
Yeah.
This one,
Yeah.
you're an expert.
Yeah. Well, so long ago it was foretold that the world would be saved by people who got powers from 5 constellations that all look remarkably like cars. And this is Power Rangers. So workers from the Pegasus Auto Garage are granted pure magic powers to defeat a gang of reckless alien drivers out to destroy Earth to build a superhighway. I do not know if they have read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the writers, but boy, is it Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy related. Those of you who've seen it through to the end, it is extremely Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It is a parody show. The Gokaiger episodes have the best villain. Jealous Toe is my favorite. I will hear no arguments. But yeah, this show is very silly from start to end. You have, again, the powers come from car constellations. You have, the robots get big by eating thanks,
Emo
thank you.
Yokon,
Emo
yeah.
Yokon, which is kind of like a potato starchy jelly type thing.
Yeah.
But it has to be from an actual seller of it. If they get the convenience store version, they'll get small. And also they have a character, it's one of the, cool 90s puppet character.
Oh god.
Dapu, who isn't bad, but then halfway through they decide he needs a costume change, so he gets naked in one episode, and then gets Western style clothes. Like
Does he wear a Bulls jersey?
yes, it's bad. It's really bad, and that's what he wears for the rest of the show.
Oh no.
He just needed to stay in his baby Yoda outfit. It was fun.
It's so important to also point out these are the worst people to ever be Power Rangers. All the time members, they are just bad people.
It's true. It's just a bunch of assholes. But like
None of them
to
are
an
heroes.
extent, the same.
It's very hitchhiking,
To an extent, the same is kind of true for early Kaku Ranger, but this works better for me because they're like all roped into it.
Yeah.
Like these guys are like they're just a bunch of mechanics. They don't want to be doing this. They're not getting paid for this. There's some episodes where Dapu has to tie them up and drag them to the fight.
They're guilted into it because they think it's a dying alien, but
Yeah, no, also Dapu's the worst.
Also, there's one episode in which their extra ranger, Signal Man, ends up in his giant form, wearing a very badly fitted suit, which is supposed to be good fashion.
As a note, we've come to this panel before, and you guys have convinced us of wanting to watch Car Rangers. Because the Shout Factory released a DVD set of Car Ranger after you guys thought so well about it.
Yeah, I got a box of that too.
Yeah, this show is a disaster perfectionist.
Yes. Any other?
There was
Oh, that guy over there was raising their hand last time. Yeah.
Tokuger.
Tokuger. Good pick.
Fun fact, a number of us in this room have cosplayed all the Kobashi trains.
yeah.
I saw a Tokyo Rokugo
Yesterday.
today too in TCC North.
Nice.
So, Tokuger is a show about 5 young people who find themselves with amnesia aboard the Rainbow Line, I think this is supposed to be.
Yep.
Aboard,
One of them wakes up on the shadow line.
it's true. Aboard a mysterious train known as the Rainbow Line.
Well, no, the train system is the Rainbow Line. The train itself is not covered.
Yes. That is run by invisible to only to those with imagination. And they fight the shadow line, which is making towns disappear into shadow and out of everyone else's memory. So this is a show that's hard to talk about because there's a big twist, and it is something that you can catch on to as you watch. But I like, how do you talk about it, man?
Let's just put it this way. Those actors are making certain choices.
Oh,
That's why those actors are making those choices.
It's very hard not to get spoiled that we definitely were from.
yeah.
Yeah.
The suit design here. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yes, no, it's really cool. Just like very streamlined, but in a way that
The
really.
villain suits too.
Oh, the
Oh,
villain
yeah.
suits are incredible.
The-
The villain suits are the exact
red
opposite of
suits are
streamlined.
great.
Yeah,
Damn.
if you like elegant gothic aristocrats, like it is entirely that. It is. They have an entire soap opera happening on the villain side,
Yes.
and it's wonderful.
Victorian drama.
Yeah, and it may or may not involve a wife eating her husband.
Just also be warned that there's a monkey puppet voiced by Yamaguchi Kappei. So just be warned about that.
He's great. He's great. I love him. And also, how dare you call him a puppet? Yes.
If people are disappearing and everyone's forgetting about them, you too, maybe in a Yasuko Kobayashi show.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's true. We're not here to talk Kamen Rider, but the parallels between this and Deno are.
Well, there's a reason why I said we've cosplayed all the Kobayashi. But yeah, Kobayashi is very good at knowing how to mix dark with comedy for children's shows. I find Kobayashi's work for older audiences to be too dark for me.
Yeah.
But when she's doing,
Cannibalism's great.
but when she's
Magneto was arguing for cannibalism.
But when she's doing kids shows, it's very fun what she comes up with. The mix, the heart that's in it is.
She needs a leash.
She does need a leash.
Maybe one of my best ships of all time. What can I say?
Yeah, no. Like
Oh, yeah.
every Rider show she's done and every Sentai show of hers has been just absolute top notch.
I love how Tokuger has like 75 Ranger keys.
Well, yes.
I wanted that set when it came out. I was not going to spend $300 to get the barrel with Yamaguchi Kappei with lines for every single Ranger key, with every single version that the Tokuger is transformed into, because they swap colors with each other.
Yes.
They forget that they can do this halfway through the show, but they swap colors with each other. They also have Tokyo Zero for half of them. Red becomes Tokyo negative 100 in one episode. At one point, they haul on animal forms. I believe at least one of them also becomes black and rainbow. There is a ginormous thing that is just Tokuger keys, and I want it.
All right. So next one, I am going, because you were raising your hand earlier, Jamie. Unless this is what you were going to.
I mean, it was on my list, but I was gonna say if we're talking, I guest writing, Ranger.
Yes. I was curious what you were going to pick, but since Gokaiger got scooped, so that's why I picked you next. All right. So Dairanger's great. Dairanger is kind of peak 90s Sentai. 5 young warriors with of ki that let them interact with mythical beasts must keep the long-lost Gorma tribe from taking over the world. This show is a vibe, man. This show is aesthetics. If you like kung fu films, if you like just over-the-top action, if you want to see, and this must be from Gokaiger because the yellow has a skirt.
Yeah, that's a Gokaiger.
Okay, apologies for that. But if you want to see a Yellow Ranger who uses drunken master kung fu, if you want to see the best romance in Sentai, hands down, bar none. And if you want to see the worst romance in Sentai, by that I mean the Inoue episode,
That sounds about right.
then and it's not between a man and a woman. I'll tell you that.
That sounds about right.
Because it's the red and a villain, and there's nothing more peaking away than that.
What, you mean the guy who brought us Dawn Brothers could write something like that?
So it's just absolutely incredible. The villains Man, I don't think Keita Amamiya worked on this, but you wouldn't know that from the villain designs because they are incredible. There's also like their lair is just absolutely surreal. Like really weird dark messiah stuff going on in the background. Like they're trying to bring about the Gorma Antichrist. And there's also a great bunch of episodes involving the Blue Ranger and a bunch of just absolute dumbfuck villains who are very proto the guys from Boon Boonjer. And it's a great show. It ain't perfect, but if you are into that sort of 90s aesthetic for Sentai, this is a good show to go to. Yeah, I can't really speak to much more than that, but I loved this show. It was a wild ride, and I highly recommend it. Over there first. Yes, sure, you first.
Oh, me? Oh, so me and my boyfriend, we do all the tokusatsu that we can. So, we Rider, we Ultra, we Garo, we Metal Heroes, we Spielbahn, we started the other day, actually. Very good.
Yes.
But the show that started us into Sentai, aside from Power Rangers, is good old Zenkaiger. Zenkaiger, which is just so.
All right, let's
fun.
go. You want
Another anniversary.
you want a very different anniversary. It's almost the anti-anniversary show.
Way, yes.
And I mean that positively because I love Zenkaiger.
Zenkaiger. Every week.
It's the one show that's main character is not the Red
It's
Ranger.
true.
It's Big One.
It's true. So when two worlds fuse, the child of missing scientists and 4 robot friends must take down a multiverse conquering empire. So this show is just zany, kooky bananas. As it says at the bottom there, one of the stated goals for the show in production they should be a little stupid. I think that perfectly describes this team. They're all a little stupid.
That was the director of one of the episodes giving character advice for the actors.
Again, this show is pure comedy. Not to say that there's no drama in it, because I think there's actually some really fascinating stuff going on with one of the villains. But for the most part, it's goofy fun. There's only one human member of the team, not counting the 6th Ranger. So everybody else, it's fascinating because they're all only in suits outside of a movie, or I think it was a V-Cinema, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Or
they're
they get
all only in suits, but they transform into different suits.
Also, if you're wondering why did they make this choice, this was the 2020 show.
Yeah.
Right.
This, or was it 2021? Anyway, this
Yeah,
was
it was a little more 2021.
yeah, 2021. But this was very much we are dealing with COVID. How can we have a COVID safe thing?
Everybody's in suits all the time.
Yeah, and their designs are just adorable. I
Yeah.
love every single one of them.
So this is just a really fun show, and it also loves taking the piss out of the rest of the franchise.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite things in the world is there was somebody on Twitter at the time who was really, really mad about the Jetman episode. Like, he was furious about the Jetman episode. I'm just like, I love this episode even more because it's making that person happy. Because I thought it was brilliant.
And like you said, I love that they're willing to make fun of the franchise as a whole.
Yeah.
Like we had the episode with Recycle World.
Literally being like, we recycle our suits, so this isn't garbage world anymore. No, this is recycle world. And with Sentai, there's like, if there is a joke to be had, they will take that joke to the absolute limits. Like, how far can we take this? How silly can we do this? And I love that.
We need to get powers from other Rangers to help defeat these guys. Not those ones, they all die!
Yeah.
I think, to me, the funniest joke that I always think with Zenkaiger is when, what was the yellow's name?
Gown.
Gown. And Gown is the horrible, he hates robot. He is a self-loathing robot and he yells at the little dinosaur, and everyone says, "Because you yell at him now, he won't show up." And he's not the person who made like he's not that smart.
His AI is not that complex. He got stuck.
Yeah, like you can tell him anything, he's still gonna show up when you call. It's like I didn't learn anything.
This is a show that also sometimes puts wigs on their suits, but thankfully this is for comedic effect and not trying to be the base. Oh,
The boys have a cross-dress episode, and it's a crossover with Kamen Rider Saber, actually. And it's very like the boys are all into it. They're like, "No, this is fun."
yeah.
Also, there's definitely something going on in that crossover episode.
That's
Definitely something. going on.
Bella and Majin, my beloveds.
Yeah.
They are married. You cannot convince me otherwise.
Yes.
Like, I also wanted to try to come and
Oh my god. Because he doesn't get one.
All right. Next show to talk about. Yes, Chase.
Because you mentioned it earlier, I was debating on which one to bring up, but Boom Boom Cheer.
Sure. Okay.
Speaking of fun,
Closer. We're so close, but we haven't finished it yet.
that's fine. Don't worry, it's really good. You've got something to look forward to.
I'll keep you spoiled.
Like we're near the end. Michael Jackson's showed up.
You're on your way.
That's a line. And you're not
For those of you who don't know, yeah, the big bad is kind of based on Michael Jackson.
underselling.
In a way that they don't have to pay his family likeness right.
So this,
Similar to, but legally distinct from.
so this is a car-themed Sentai. They are referred to as tire people by civilians who defend the world from an intergalactic gang known as the Hashirians. And this came immediately after King Oger. So after King Oger was like this big sweeping epic, this is back to very standard Sentai tropes, but not in a way that felt boring or like treading old ground. All the members of the team are great and stupid in their own ways. Like these are they're all dumb. They're all dumb. Some are dumber than others, and I think what I love about this show is that usually the girl isn't dumb in the way that she's dumb in this show, and I love that for her.
That said, there is a clear himbo. He's the police officer, and he does the himbo stuff correct.
I love Joe. Oh my god.
They're like they're
Oh, and
they're
also,
both entirely stupid.
also, if you want to feel old, Joe's actor is the exact same age down to the day as Kotaro from Q Ranger.
At some point, we're gonna
I am disintegrating in my seat.
anniversary, and I'm going to die.
The Bookers are super fun, like you said. Even their villains are pretty fun.
I just want to say the main three are
Team Rocket. Team Rocket.
Yeah, it's just sometimes a family is two weird aliens and their car baby, and I only want the best for them.
And if you want to see their cousins, when the rain lets up, there's some in the parking lot of the CC.
As we pass by them, I just said tail to nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Boom Boonger, good time, absolutely.
And if you're me, you will get Venga Boy stuck in your head constantly.
Yes, always.
In the yellow. You've had your hand up with.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about Sioux Ranger?
We can talk Sioux Ranger. Again, I have not seen much of Sioux Ranger. I've seen a few episodes. I like what I've seen. So I'm gonna pull this up, and if there's anybody in this room who Sentai history, you're immediately going to go, oh, that. Oh, except we even. Okay.
Thanks, Shout Factory.
Yeah.
So this is a show that was used for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yes.
But the premise of the show is that we've got a set of 5 warriors who have been in suspended animation for millions of years that are resurrected after astronauts accidentally free Bandora the Witch from her prison. Wasn't it planet Nemesis? Isn't that the planet that she's on? Something really cool like that. I just want to say that she's the best. She just tells babies to cry more and gleefully, and she's wonderful. And it's very much kind of a fairy tale feeling to it. These warriors are supposed to be like descendants of dinosaurs somehow. And from what I've seen, each episode kind of has like this sort of the villain kind of takes this sort of is some sort of mythological backing to it, and it's this. I'm under the impression that it gets kind of repetitive for a while until Dragon Ranger shows up, but it's definitely something that I would love to watch more of. This is the show that kind of establishes the Sixth Ranger as a staple that will be repeated for the rest of the franchise. It is very weird to think about the fact that if things had gone differently, we might have had a Power Ranger show without a Sixth Ranger. But here we are. And also how things end up for that Ranger really kind of establishes some tropes for the franchise. Not that he's the first to do it, but he's the first, to my knowledge, to do it and it not be the end of the previous show, where it was the very end of the show. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, that's kind of what I can speak of regarding Zyuranger. But what I've seen has been good, and we own it. There's so many of these shows that we own, but I live in a house with 2 8-year-olds, so give me a break. We have to keep track of the new stuff. Yes, right there first.
I came a little late, so I don't know if this mentioned yet, but I really like Lupin Ranger versus Power Ranger.
We have not talked Lupot.
Lupot.
And I would love to talk Lupot. I will admit, it's not my favorite, but I respect it. It almost killed the franchise, but I respect it. So here we have Phantom Thief Sentai Lupin Ranger versus Police Sentai Pet Ranger. As you can see, this is different because we have 2 teams. We've got a group of cops and a group of gentlemen thieves who are fighting against the common enemy, a mafia known as the Ganglers, but they're also fighting each other because the Pop Rangers are trying to steal these powerful items.
The Lupin Rangers.
Or the Lupin Rangers are trying to.
They're not trying to steal.
You're right.
They're having an off day.
The Lupin Rangers are trying to steal these powerful items that are all really just like weird repaints of old Sentai gadgets. And in order to kind of fulfill a wish. But the cops don't know that. All they know is that there are these guys that are trying to steal stuff and are desperately trying to stop them. One of the interesting gimmicks with this show is that we have 2 3-member Sentai, and we have a 6th Ranger. And the 6th Ranger is on both teams. He's a double agent. And not only is he a double agent, he tells both teams that he's a double agent.
He's also one of the best characters in the show.
He is absolutely one of the best characers in the
I
show.
love his addiction to backflips.
But it's absolutely a case of he's just like, yeah, no, I'm working with guys, but just so you know, I'm also working with them. But I'm willing to feed information to you. And he does that for both of them. And it is insane.
The problem is he doesn't feed all the information, which means the cops are still after the Lupin Ranger.
Right.
If he had given them all the information about what's going on, I'm pretty sure the teams would have actually started working together.
It's true.
They made a promise at the beginning that these teams would never work together, and they were sticking to it.
Who also has one of the best Western characters that I have seen in Sentai, like one of the best written, one of the best just portrayed in general. And he not only just so happens to be a Western guy, like the fact that he is Western has like 2 or 3 things to do with his character, and they come up incidentally. He's also black, and this is in Japan.
Yeah.
Japan and xenophobia are horrible. The guy who plays him, I cannot think of his name off the top of my head, but he has done other children's shows in Japan. He is a known quantity, but no, he is a black guy, and he essentially just so happens to be a black guy who works in the police force. There is he actually gets Japanese puns more than, or riddles that the team members don't on the Plateau Rangers. Like, it is a very, very good character portrayal in my mind because it is not a it's a Western. There is like one joke to that effect once in the entire show, and otherwise, no, he is just there doing his job, and he is very well respected for it.
That said, I feel like one of the biggest flaws of the show is that it's not really an even show. It's the Lupin Ranger show, and the Pet Rangers just happen to be there for the most part.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, due to the sheer amount of toys that are needed to have two teams in a single show, but also with a lot of repetition between those toys, nobody's gonna buy all that. I personally have an anecdote where at a convention, there's
Convention.
what?
This convention.
No, it was at Yomo.
It was at
It was at Yomo.
Okay.
There was a dealer that specialized in Toku merch, and when I went there the year after, they had almost nothing Sentai, and I asked him if he was going to have anything, and he said no. After I got burned by Lupin Ranger, we had so much extra stock. I'm not buying Sentai stuff again. It was that bad. So
Yeah, we got a situation like this.
Yeah, the show also had production issues because the guy who was supposed to be their big bad had a lot of other commitments,
yeah,
and so they introduced the big bad and
yeah.
It's Lango Gap all over again.
Oh
Yeah.
no, not again.
All right, all the way back again.
We need some more show reps, so how about Bioman?
Oh God, I'm sorry. I've seen almost no show up.
That's your homework for next year.
We'll try.
I also
God,
need to
God,
see
we'll
more show up.
try.
What Flashman in the
If you want your brain to melt, watch Flashman. I say that with all affection. I love it every time.
At this point, has Bioman did Shout get to Bioman before everything collapsed?
Don't think so.
Backwards, I think that got to 5 min.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
But we have a mad scientist by the name of Dr. Man. Leads the nuclear empire in an invasion of Earth and is resisted by 5 people infused by bioparticles. An invention from the planet Bio. So, what would you like to say regarding Bioman? I'm going to defer to you.
Bioman, it's pretty gritty, I think.
Attendance?
Dynaman, just before, that's when they, Hirohisa Soda, the writer, he started to kind of move away from kind of cribbing notes from Uehara a bit. And yeah, Dynaman, there were some wonky bits at first, and it was also around the time when the timeline got a little, or the time slot got a little shorter, so the episodes had to be 20 minutes. Bioman is kind of like the first full step forward, like, very dramatic, and it has like a very an incredible kind of like rival antagonist in Biohunter Silva. He has like this really mesmerizing theme, and he's like a very he always chants like destroy.
I have heard of Silva before. And
Yes, and it's like a very dramatic, really good soda interesting. I think Live Man itches out a little more, but Bioman is like,
I've seen the first episode of Live Man, and I'd love to see more because man. All right. Next, I know there was a man over there with their hand up. Is there any? Yes.
I can't entirely remember the word I asked for, but look at Go Buster.
Go Buster. Go Buster is my dear child. Like I said, I often like shows with the troubled production, and you don't get much more troubled productions than Go Buster.
Would you also like to thank yourself?
Yes, I would like to thank myself. So Tokume Sentai Go Buster, or sort of secret agent Sentai Go Busters. Messiah is a sentient computer virus and a being created entirely from Enetron, which is a new form of energy. After being altered by their parents to save them from Messiah as children, the Go Busters keep Messiah from taking over the world. You'll see here the phrase "it's morphin' time" because this is used in this show.
Yeah.
Like, there's some weird stuff that they pulled from Power Rangers for this show the bad guy monster robots are all called Zords, which is
Yeah.
wild.
Also, I have to just note here, this says used in Beast Morphers. No, Tokume Sentai was not used in Beast Morphers. Dobutsu Sentai Go Busters was used in Beast Morphers, which
They used the one
for those of you who don't want to invest an entire, however many hours to watch the entire show watching Go Busters, there is a movie for Go Busters, which is an alternate universe, which is the entire season in one 60-90 minute movie.
Yep.
It is great. You have a sixth ranger be introduced and die within 10 minutes. It's the best.
So, Go Busters was a very different show for its time. Like aesthetically, you can see right here, we've abandoned spandex and we're into more leather. It's got this hard sci-fi feel to it. As opposed to how we've spoken about how there's some shows where you'll go where we might not actually have a robot fight in more recent series. This is might not actually have anything but a robot fight. And it's like there's some goofy stuff to it. In particular, the main character's weakness. But
The ending made me cry.
yeah, for the most part, it is a darker show that is kind of abandoning a lot of tropes for Sentai.
Would you be surprised it's written by Kobayashi?
It is written like and once again, kind of almost killed the franchise for it. People were just not willing to give this a chance, despite the fact that it's so fucking cool.
That's
It's so
it's superhero time all series crossover with Go Busters, right? Or like
Yeah, we have about
Yeah.
Go Busters, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember Decade fighting against
Yeah,
these guys.
that was during Go Buster and Forze, when that happened. Yeah, and the main villain of this show is so good. They did have to revamp the show halfway through. Like literally around episode 25, you get to what should be the end of the show. And then they have another 25 episodes where it goes in a somewhat different direction. But the person who ends up being the main villain of the show, one of my favorite villains, in part because he wins a fair amount of times, and it's kind of terrifying.
He also made God.
Yes. Well, and one of the things that's kind of the point of the movie that we talked about earlier was it's kind of a fuck you to Toei, because the movie that was released after the series was over is basically saying, you want a normal Sentai? Well, fine. We're going to have our sixth ranger and this other side character get isekai'd into this world where they're a normal Sentai. They get their powers from mystical beasts, and everything is goofy fun, and we have all these old Sentai tropes. How do you like that? Huh?
It's a really good movie.
It is incredible.
We should probably go to the end of the franchise.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Let's-
Rangers for Goes Future.
Joe, boy.
Speaking of
Ta-da.
So, yeah.
No. I enjoyed Miss Inoue's Wild Ride.
I also greatly enjoy Miss Inoue's Wild Ride. So, number one Sentai Go Future is the last Sentai so far. Let's face it, there's going to be a point where Toei's just like, we want that nostalgia money, we're bringing it back.
Yeah, they probably should have been asking more questions when 50 Ranger was number 150 Ranger was announced as the 49th Sentai. 50th if you 50th if you include Lupato as separate Sentai. But
So, we have
And he
here.
messed up Senkaiser's number.
So we have here a show with 5 strangers who dance and clap their way into the strangest situation. Thank you, Jamie.
How else do you want to describe it?
You're right. There's also another great Sentai war in there somewhere. Also, what if God was one of us, and or what if God was so this is a anniversary series. It's written by the daughter of prolific toku writer Toshiki Inoue.
and it's narrated by Gal.
And she definitely got despite the fact that she claims she hasn't watched her father's stuff, I call bullshit.
Extra out.
No way tropes.
Admittedly, they did write a decade book together, so maybe that's where she.
So honorary Dehedo?
Usually, yes. So
millennials.
So this is a show. One thing that you should know about Inoue, and Inoue is how much longer?
We should wrap up whenever we can. But yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, this show is absolutely nuts. Unfortunately, one of the main cast members was forced off the show by a scandal that is not her fault. And there is a set of episodes that is almost unwatchable because they have to edit it around her.
Yeah.
But
They had finished all primary shooting by the time this happened.
yes.
And the studio was like, no, we can't allow you to use her likeness going forward.
Like, I have no idea how any future releases of this show is gonna work.
I have no idea.
But despite that, and despite the fact that the ending is kind of just a big whelp, I liked the show. It was fun.
When it was good, it
When
was
it was
good.
good, it was great.
Yeah.
Like, my one complaint is I really wanted the show to, like, retcon Sentai. Like, I really wanted them to be like, deuces, I'm out. That doesn't exist anymore.
The Car Ranger episode here.
Like,
So
I actually, what I wanted was when the production went off the rails, for her dad to take over and ruin the show. That's what I
Last time.
wanted.
Just like EBK.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, just revenge.
I haven't watched other Super Sentai, but I personally think that's one of like the best songs, music in general.
Oh yeah.
it is very fun music.
It's really fun to listen to. The OST and these soul songs they have.
Yeah. I agree with you, except I think Don Brothers is just a tier higher.
I agree.
But anyway, I think that's about all the time we have here. So thank you everyone for this wonderful.
Wait, to end up, let's all do our favorite Super Sentai ending dance. Which one is that? Your choice.
Also, come back for Ultraman in a half hour.
Oh yeah, come back here for Ultraman in a half hours. And they're not dead.
That's not dead.
Somehow Ultraman outlived Sentai. How did that happen?
I don't think anyone had that on their bingo card.
No.
Okay, we're staying here.
Kevin is basically fine.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. You guys, I didn't see you guys at all yesterday.
God, I know. Oh, so we couldn't make it to the rider panel because we were at the Novi.
It's okay. I told them the moon is a captain for you.
Thank you.
Because I was just like, I knew you guys weren't here, and I was just like, I figured Antho would have said it eventually, and so I just figured I might as well shed it for him.
Like, oh, can you imagine?
I'm definitely gonna be watching Zeds tonight, though.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna wait and
Yeah.
Please don't.
Yeah. Because I was like, you're
40.
well, no, here's she's on the like I was young. Like yeah. No, it's not that. It's that T Ranger doesn't feel like that long ago.
Yeah,
And 2017. Yeah, 2017. The Kid Ranger in that is the same
Just before
age today
Joe.
as Joe. So it's just that kid's the same age as
back
this.
on.
I understand. Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Is it just Ultraman? Yeah.
Building.
Yes.
It happened now.
They might kick you out because sometimes they do that, and I apologize.
It's gonna be fine.
It's-
Something leave that for Hank.
Yeah, that's my best.
Like, I'm gonna be on both panels.
Wearing the actual stuff.
But no, like in the city, we couldn't be at
Yes.
we've been doing watch parties on our streams for since every week since it started. And basically since the app, I've